Arrakis, Dune, Desert Planet. Those are the words. Those are the words that you hear when you think of Frank Herbert's Dune. So, hail everybody! Just came back from seeing the movie Denis Villenueves Dune, and I'm not the only one here. I got a guest right here. I got the link. I have number one sci-fi right here. So what's up, number one sci-fi? How are you today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm fine. I just got home from the theater. How did you see the movie? If I may be
Oh,
so bold.
on HBO Max.
Oh, you gotta see it in the theater. This is a movie that's meant to be seen in the theater. So
Yeah, it was a little dark in spots. Hard to see some stuff. Um, I think they did that on purpose in a way, but
so since you're on, I'd like to ask you, what is your history with Dune? Have you read the novels? I have not read the novels myself.
um, I probably read them a long time ago. Um, and I noticed the first thing when the movie comes on, and it shows the title screen that says part one.
Yeah.
So obviously, this is, I guess, however many movies they want to make it into. I'm guessing at least three for sure.
Oh no, there's going to be two, I believe.
Oh, okay, just
That's
two.
what I believe. I don't think there's going to be a third one. I don't know what the third one would be about. It seems
Okay.
like they got to the halfway point in the story, or
Yeah.
at least based on my understanding, because I just watched the David Lynch movie just a couple of days ago, and it's basically halfway through the movie when they meet up with the Fremen, and then begins Paul's journey into becoming Muad'Dib. Muad'Dib is his messianic name that is given to him by the Fremen, so he gets a new name from the Fremen, if I remember correctly. So I've only read the first couple chapters of the book, so I don't know the full details other than seeing the David Lynch film myself. So um, so to start off, let's say hello to who's in the chat right now. So we have Pacific 414, we have no we have Jake D, and then we have a bot, my bot. So welcome guys, how you doing? Apparently I'm not the only stream talking about this. There's a lot of others. There's a lot of other people talking about it since they dropped the movie today. I think it was 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Central or something. So I decided after work to stay around my area at work and just go and hang out there until the movie started. So I ended up seeing a 7 o'clock Central showing of Dune at the theater, and it was one of those times where I actually made a mistake. I didn't check that I thought I was supposed to see a 7 o'clock showing. I actually bought a ticket for a 6 o'clock showing. So I actually missed out on the IMAX experience. So I'm gonna have to go see it a second time in the IMAX. So um but after seeing this, I mean I thought it was a very good movie. I was listening to an earlier stream today. Some Robert Meyer Burnett and Midnight Edge were talking about the movie, and one thing Robert Meyer Burnett pointed out is that the movie kind of comes off as dreamy, and I have to agree with that because there were points where I kind of just wanted it. It felt kind of hypnotizing to me to the point where I almost wanted to fall asleep to it, not because I was bored, but just because of the way the smoothness of the music, the long shots and stuff, and just that dreamlike state. I don't know if you got that impression.
Well, I mean, they had numerous scenes where they're showing Paul's dreams. So if that's what you mean by that,
Yeah, yeah,
then yeah, that's part of the original um, Dune with Kyle McLennan. Um, in 1984, whatever that was, I think.
Yeah, it was 1984.
Um, so, and I'm sure you've seen that version as well.
Yes. I was just watching the movie myself on HBO Max. On HBO Max just last couple of days. So
Yeah,
that was a very even that movie had a kind of a dreamlike quality to it too. But then again, the dialogue kind of came off as a little. I don't know if it was clunky, but it was like if you read the book, you would probably understand because I'm guessing it was directly. I'm guessing a lot of the dialogue in that movie was taken directly from the book, like "Long live the fighters" and um, all the stuff that he says in the desert, that Paul says in the desert when he's like
yeah. I guess they're
becoming
saving.
Muad'Dib. Because I've only read the first few chapters of the book, so I haven't gotten that far yet. And
Yeah, I
even
guess
reading
they're
the
saving that part, the Long Live the Fighters, till the second movie. But
yeah.
obviously,
So I thought I was really impressed with the battle sequences in this one. Um, very different from very different from the David Lynch movie. This just the sense of scale was just astounding in my opinion. And I mean, just the initial battle where the Harkonnens just take, the city. What is it called? Arakeen, I believe. They just destroy everything. Um, and it was pretty cool in my opinion seeing the Sardaukar as they were meant to be seen, vicious and not to be taken lightly, unlike the David Lynch movie where they looked like just a bunch of people in suits. They didn't look at it all. It didn't look imposing at all. So
yeah, I think they obviously CGI'd a bunch of stuff in this movie. Um, from the shield aspect of um, the Outreaties to, I guess, other things that you could tell were CGI'd. Um, I thought it was kind of interesting. How, I mean, I don't think it detracts from the movie, but you could, you know, notice it.
yeah, so it seems like they added a lot of stuff that didn't make it into the David Lynch movie because they tried to cover an entire book in the course of 2 hours and 15 minutes, I believe. So in this case, they added this movie by itself was longer than the Lynch film and only covers half of the book. So the whole story is. I mean, there was still a lot of stuff that I was kind of surprised that they added. So they added the there's a scene where we see we see like Duke Leto and Paul and all of them basically saying, hey, you the emperor's decreed that you are to take control of Arrakis and stuff. So they had the herald there, and then there was witnesses, and we got to see Duke Leto say, we will do it, we will honor, we will do our duty for the emperor and for the empire, whatever. So they added that. There was and it was interesting how they didn't begin it with Paul being given that test by the mother Mohiam from the Bene Gesserit. So anyone that's listening, Bene Gesserit are basically a group of, they're a sisterhood of, well, I guess you could say witches that have some super abilities, like they can talk people into, or they can use the voice and basically make suggestions to get people to obey them and stuff, kind of like the Jedi mind trick in Star Wars, which I'm pretty sure Lucas kind of took the idea from this and kind of implemented that into Star Wars, into the Jedi lore and stuff. So but they basically, it's the test is basically she basically tells Paul, because Paul is the son of another sister. His mother, the Lady Jessica, is part of the sisterhood, and because of that, she's been teaching him the ways of the Bene Gesserit. And so they want to test him and see if perhaps he is what they call the Kwisatz Haderach, which is basically someone that can bring time and space together, according to the book, which is basically them saying a messiah, in other words. And so the test is he has to put his hand in a box. So he puts his hand in a box. And as he puts his hand in the box, the sister, or the mother, takes out a little needle, and it's called the Gamjabar. She takes out this little needle and sticks it by his neck. And she's like, if you move, or if you take your hand out of the box, I will stick you with this. It's got a poison and it will kill you. So he has to. So Paul is basically like, what is in the box? Why do I have to have my hand in the box? What will I find? And they're like, she's like, pain. You'll find pain in this box. And they're like, why are you doing this? Well, I'm doing this because I want to see whether or not you're human. So the whole idea is they explain that unlike an animal who will bite off its limb to get out of a trap, a human would just take it and stuff. And so that was a pretty interesting little, test, which is basically how the book. That's basically how the book opens, and then we start learning the politics. We start learning the history of Arrakis, and then it gets very. It starts to open up the world, and the world starts to build in the later chapters and stuff. So, but we didn't see that until like 15 minutes into the movie. So, and the way everything was shown, everything was I thought everything was. I thought it was the movie was very cinematic. Like even the Harkonnens, and they were the best, in my opinion. They were one of the best parts of the movie, but we barely see them. So there's somewhat of an enigma in this movie. But the Baron, even though he's the way he was depicted in the David Lynch movie was more kind of comical, in my opinion. Not to be, he was still bad, but he wasn't like Darth Vader level, menacing. In this movie, he was pretty menacing. Like there was nothing comedic about his appearance and stuff. Everything was pretty on an epic scale. And even the mother from the Bene Gesserit came off as menacing too. So, you have any thoughts on how the characters were portrayed in this movie?
Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård as the main baddie, basically.
So was he wearing makeup for that? To like a fat suit or something?
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously.
Some actors will put on the weight just for the role, but yeah, well, I figured he wouldn't do that. He's older.
So yeah, I thought yeah, he was very interesting as the main baddie Harkonnen guy. I thought he was very menacing, especially when they had the scene with him having what is his name? Leto, whatever.
Yeah, Duke Leto.
Atreides, basically stripped and suspended there, from what it looked like.
Yeah, he was drugged by that Dr. Yui.
Yeah.
It's interesting because watching the David Lynch film, you kind of knew Dr. Yui was the bad guy because he was played by Dean Stockwell. And if you ever seen anything with Dean Stockwell, he always plays like a sniveling, backstabbing type of character. Based on what I've seen him in and stuff. So seeing him and he kind of came off that way, I kind of knew he was the one that would basically betray them, lower the shields and stuff. And I forget, he kills her Lady Jessica's attendant, the Shadow, her name is the Fremen Shadow Mapes, kills her, and then he gets attacked by that seeker, I believe, the same seeker that Paul catches in the room.
Yeah.
So I think it was the same thing, except instead of having like poison, it just had like a drug that drugged him and stuff. And so he basically takes out, so Dr. Yui takes out a tooth and puts in a fake tooth that has a poison, and he has to spit the poison out at the Baron. But it fails. And in the David Lynch movie, he spits it out at the Mentat dude, what's his name? Peter DeVries or something. The Mentat for Harkonnen kills him instead. But in this movie, the Baron is actually hit by the poison, but he was wearing the shield, so he survived. But he was still like, sick. So he went. So that's why he was in that like mud. I don't know what that was. That was a mud pit or something.
Yeah,
or
some weird.
some mud pit to heal or something.
Yeah.
So, and that's the last we see of him in the movie. They did add in the initial onslaught, Duncan, Idaho, in this movie is played by Jason Momoa. Doesn't get killed in the initial fight. He actually escapes and rescues, Paul and his mother, and they get taken to another, safe place, and that place gets attacked by the Sardaukar as well. And then that's when Duncan Idaho, puts the sword by his face like a true knight, closes the door so that they can escape and stuff, and then he pulls an Obi-Wan and sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting thing to see. And then we see what ultimately happens to Dr. Kynes, who was played by, I forget the actress's name, but it was originally what was it? It was originally Max von Sydow's character in the original movie. I don't remember whatever happened to him. I don't know if they ever showed what happened to him. Ultimately, he just kind of disappeared from the movie. But in this one, she gets attacked. She gets attacked, and then she basically calls the sandworm to basically eat them all up. So she's dead. So a lot of people died in this movie. So
yeah. It's kind of reminded me in a way of like 300 in a way, with the amount of deaths, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. It's been a while since I watched 300. So, do you have any final thoughts about the movie?
Well, I guess they haven't said when part 2 is coming out, have they? Or have they?
They announced it. I mean, it was supposed to be. They needed to determine whether or not the movie would be successful in the theaters. But in this case, because they released it on HBO Max, they need to know if it's successful on HBO Max as well. So, I mean, according to, I forget the woman's name that runs Warner Brothers, but apparently she said they basically greenlit it, so it's going to happen. So, will it have the same budget? Who knows? So, yeah, any final thoughts?
Well, I mean, I thought that Rebecca Ferguson as the lady, the main lady character in the movie. I thought she was very well done in the movie. And then Dave Bautista was in it as well. He's one of the Freemen, right?
No, he was one of the Harkonnens. He was the older. So there's Baron. Vladimir Harkonnen has two nephews. Harkonnen himself is a homosexual that likes to. He's kind of like he's one of those creepy, you know, leaders that like has young boys delivered to him. At least that's the way it was. At least that's the way it was hinted to in the David Lynch film. But he doesn't have any heirs himself. So his youngest brother's sons, his two sons, one of them we don't see in the movie. The one that was played by Sting, Fade Rotha, is not in this movie. So I'm guessing he's going to make an appearance. He's going to somehow make an epic, introduction in the next movie. So, Dave Batista played the older brother, the dumber older brother. So he was more the brute. I forget his name. I'll have to look it up. I forget his name.
I know which guy he was now.
So he was in the movie. I really liked Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck.
Yeah.
I thought he actually, whereas Patrick Stewart in the original was more like, it was more bump. How would I describe it? He was more like Picard, like he'd like to scream and, say, Shakespeare. He sounded a little more Shakespearean, whereas Gurney in this one was more like in the book where he was more gruff. Josh Brolin gave him a gruffness and stuff, and he was gruff. He was tough. He was basically Paul's buddy. He's like his best friend, because Paul does not have any friends his age, because he's a nobleman. He's a duke's son. So his friends are basically his teachers and stuff. So your Duncan Idahos, your Gurney Hallecks, your Thufir Howatts, and of course even Dr. Yu, I think he had a relationship with too. So Paul in this movie, I could see Timothy Chalamet. I mean, he's basically the same age as Kyle MacLachlan was in the original movie, but Timothy Chalamet looks way more boyish than even Kyle MacLachlan did back in the day. And I don't know. It's weird that he's 20. I think he's 25 or 26 years old. He still looks like he's like 16 or 17. So I mean, they think they did a decent job, casting him in the lead role. So
yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts about them casting Chalamet as Paul.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any problem with him being cast in the role.
All right, so
probably, I guess Zendaya is obviously Chani in the movie, and with her being also in Spider-Man, I don't know how people are gonna.
Well, I thought we barely saw her, so yeah. I could see her being a Fremen. People in the desert, you figure, because of the sun and all that, they would have a darker tone to them. So, I mean, the way everything was depicted in this movie was believable. There was plenty of what's that word? Verisimilitude. It seems like this movie, like in my opinion, Halloween Kills was done with a labor of love from the director. Like, in this case, it was a lot of respect for the original source material and so forth.
And then, when it was Frank Villeneuve or whatever directed it, right?
Denis Villeneuve.
Okay, yeah.
Directed it.
Okay, yeah. Renee. Is that?
Denny. His name's Denny. So he's French. It's pronounced Denny, but it looks like Dennis with one N. Okay. And then it's Villeneuve. Yeah. So that's his name. He directed Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't know. I mean, a lot of older fans of Blade Runner didn't like it. I didn't have a problem with it personally. I mean, the only thing I had an issue with about that movie was if it wasn't quite complete, and I don't think they needed to have Harrison Ford in the movie, in my opinion. But it just felt incomplete, the fact that they never dealt with Jared Leto's character, the owner of the new owner of the new company that's making Blade, or what do you call them, replicants stuff, or whatever they call them in that movie. So I felt that was unfinished. Maybe they were expecting to make a sequel, but other than that, I really liked the visuals. I liked some of the ideas that Denis Villeneuve did, and this obviously carried forward with in this Dune movie as well. So, what do you think of the sandworms and how they looked?
Well, that's the part that was kind of dark, unfortunately. At least on HBO Max, it was because when it finally appeared, it was very hard to make that out. Um, so I don't know how it was in the theater. If it was better than the kind of smeared, grainy look that to me that um, was on HBO Max. Um, but I feel like we'll get a better picture of them in the second movie than in the first movie. I feel like they didn't want to really reveal the sandworms that much in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But the one main scene they showed was obviously the Freeman riding one of them at the very end there, and then he says the desert power, and then that's basically done the movie. You know.
Mm-hmm. Of course. So, um, I thought that they were like they made them look huge, like really, really large and stuff, like to the point where they were even like just once again the sense of scale, like you could just like the fact that they ate up an entire like sand crawler, and so another thing that Star Wars borrowed was the sand crawler and stuff. So that there's a segment in this movie where they see they're flying in those helicopter those dragonfly looking helicopters. I forget what they're called.
Thropter.
Thropters.
Yeah, that's what they
Okay,
call them.
the Thropters, and they see that there is a sandworm approaching the position of a sandcrawler. The sandcrawler is there to mine up and obtain the spice, the melange and stuff. So they try to evacuate all those people out of the sandcrawler, and they're successful. But we get to see, like right at the last minute, we get to see as they're flying away how large the mouth of the worm is, to the point where it just eats up the entire sandcrawler whole. It's ridiculous. So it's just and it's something, and that explains why, like explains a lot of why of the hazards of running that plant are, and like I can only imagine the operating costs to deal with hazards like that, between that and the sandstorms, and you have the Fremen attacking, because the Fremen don't recognize at least that they didn't recognize the Harkonnens. So that was the first thing of business that Leto wanted to do, was to basically form a relationship with them, so that they wouldn't attack, just so that they wouldn't attack, and hopefully build, prepare for, because they knew, and even in the reader of the books, knows right away that they're going to be betrayed. We just didn't know who or how they were going to be betrayed, but we knew from the very beginning that Harkonnens were going to do something, and and they even knew that the Emperor was behind, the betrayal. So, so we didn't quite know what was going to happen. So they were trying to prepare for that, and so Duke Leto tells us, Paul's like, we have air power and we have sea power, whatever, but we need to have on Arrakis, we need to have this thing called desert power. So basically managed to obviously form a relationship with the Fremen, get them on board, get them to You know, they're supposedly even better fighters than the Sardaukar, because they've lived under even harsher conditions than the Sardaukar, you know, grew up under. And just the idea that, you know, like they just want to know how the Fremen have survived all these years, you know, with limited resources, with limited water and stuff. Water is a commodity just like the spices. So how would I say it? So yeah, so basically, desert power was a goal, but that all got thrown out the window when they got betrayed. But at the same time, they managed to have make a deal or something with in this movie. They made a deal with the Bene Gesserit to, you know, let Paul and his mother live and stuff. They would just take him away somewhere. I think in the original David Lynch movie, I think it was actually Dr. Yui that set that up for them, I think. And that's why they weren't killed right away and stuff. So yeah, so I was just wondering, like, what did you think of just that idea of them, you know, bringing in the Fremen, that one guy, the Fremen played by Javier Bardem, the Stilgar. What do you think of that little scene where they introduced him?
Yeah, they introduced him watering the palms there.
Yeah.
Towards the beginning of the movie, and didn't bring him back again until the end of the movie, basically.
Well, no, I'm talking about that scene where they bring him in and he spits, and they get pissed off that he spits.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, well, I mean, that's still kind of at the beginning part of the movie, but
sure.
But yeah, they don't come back to him to Paul and Lady Atreides. Yeah, find them later on, and stuff like that. Yeah, they're ornithopters. My bad. But that's what they're called. Those weird dragonfly copters. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was very well done. I'll definitely watch it again.
Okay, that's great.
To see if it just see what I noticed the second time going through it more than the first time, and those kind of little details and stuff like that.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say? I'm going to take over from here. Any final things you want to say?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I'd love to talk do a stream with you further in the future.
Okay. Yeah, anytime. Just hit me up on Discord or whatever.
And we got a new guest. We have Sci-Fi Nation. What's up?
Hey, Nerd Perio. What's up, bud?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Doing good.
Hey,
doing
Jake
good.
D. How you doing? I see Jake D in the chat saying, woo. Yeah, well, there's some people that call me a dink. There's a lot of people that don't like me. But you know what? That's okay. I'm just me. I just try to be me.
I appreciate, by the way, I appreciate that video you made. I watched it. I thought it was, I loved it. I thought it was pretty cool.
I'm glad you like it. I did have to go through and put an edit in the pinned comment because there were some words I got wrong and some details I got wrong. So I had to put those in the pinned comment. So anybody that watches my video for the unboxing I did for Nerdporial here, please read my pinned comment because I got words wrong. I got a little bit confused. It happens sometimes. It happens to the best of us. We all do it.
Yeah.
So please make sure you read my pinned comment, because I did have to go through and say, no, this was this and this was that. And all of the correct links are down in the description of that video. I hope. I got them as best as I could, Nerdporial. I
So
hope
what
you
links
looked
are
at
you
them.
talking? What
I
links
hope
are you
I got
talking
them right.
What links are you talking
Your-
about? Just
Okay, so your Twitter, your Discord, and your where people can get your merch at. Because I misspoke about your merch. I misspoke about the merch, first of all. And I did put the right link down, though, because I didn't realize it was from your own website. Because when I got the package, it said manager at or whatever at Teespring. I'm like, oh, so it's a Teespring. Nope. I had to go back and look.
It's a Teespring
It's
website.
from your
I just
actual
created
website.
Yeah, it's not really my website. It's basically it's Teespring. I just created a domain for it. So Teespring lets you do that. So
Right. But I put that in the links in my description when I did the video. I actually put nerdtorial.com, and it should go right to that stuff. I hope I got the right one. You said you saw the video. I hope I got the right link for it. But your Twitter, your Discord, I know I got the right ones for that, because I went into Discord. I said, okay, invite people, blah, blah, blah. And so I gave them a link to join your Discord. I hope you don't mind.
oh no, it's fine. All are welcome. You know.
As long as they behave themselves, yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, typical rules. You know, treat others the way you want to be treated. I mean, I want this to be a place for to discuss nerdy stuff, talk whatever you want to talk about without the typical toxicity or it's typical stuff like that, harassment,
right?
None of that
Just
stuff.
don't
I want people to be happy.
Happy.
So
exactly, be happy. Happy, shiny people. Just be happy. And you know what, Nerdporial, if you want to play my video, you want to pull it up, go ahead and play it. You want me to pull it up for you? You can play that video. I dedicated this entire video to you today.
So Sci-Fi Nation.
This video I did today is for you. Yes, absolutely. Because right there, I can say I got one of each of your giveaways. It's the merch, the movies, and the what's the other one?
The Switch Online gift card.
Yeah, what's that fall under? The games? Yeah.
Yeah.
I won one of each of yours. And I actually said I said in one of yours, should I just stop entering your giveaways?
Well, I mean only like 10 people have been really entering the giveaways. So I mean, trying to get more people.
I mean, I
sign up and stuff. So
I feel bad.
It's not your fault. The bot
won
chose
one
you.
Of each. It's not my fault, but
exactly.
I felt I had an obligation to do an unboxing for you. So here's the video, everyone. Yeah, Nerdporial is going to play it for you.
All right.
You need to share the sound bit. I don't hear the sound on it. You're not sharing the sound. Nerdporial, you're not sharing the sound.
Oh, I'm not? Oh.
No.
How's that work then?
Here, I'll share it for you. Hold on.
All right.
Let me get it up here real quick. Took me like 30 seconds. Hold on here. Nope. You gotta do this. My channel, new tab. Holy crap, I got another new sub. Holy crap, I'm up to 415. Thank you, everybody, whoever subbed to me. I got 2 new subs tonight.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Okay,
man.
so we're going to do this. Unmute that. Okay, now I got to come back over here to StreamYard. Where's StreamYard? There you are. We're gonna do Chrome tab, unboxing. Yes, share audio, share. Do that. Whoop, nope. And we gotta put that all the way back to the beginning. All right. So, yes, I do see you're sharing it. Hopefully, let me know within the first few seconds if you hear anything, because that'll
Okay.
tell me if I got it right.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Sci-Fi Nation. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, evening, morning, whatever it might be. Today's video, I am unboxing some stuff or opening up some mail from I consider him a friend of the channel, the Nerd Portal. His channel, I will have a link to it down in the description. He just does amazing. I apologize for those sounds. Okay.
That's fine.
Now, the first thing we have is this. Oh, I better explain some more. Let me lay down some groundwork. On his Discord server, which I'll also try to have a link for on the description. And let me know if those links are some giveaways. Merch, movies, game-related stuff. And I've won 3 giveaways so far. One is a code for 1 year of Nintendo Direct. Not Direct, obviously, it was Nintendo Switch. I already said that digital in code. So thing. I already fixed it. But it is for 1 year of Nintendo. Sorry. Wow, that's like reloading for some reason. Holy crap. Why is it reloading? I don't know. But yeah, I fixed that. I fixed that in the comment section. I don't know why that's loading all of a sudden.
That's fine. It's an honest mistake. I've made mistakes like that before myself. So
it's I get words mixed up all the time. I don't know why this is doing this. This is coming off of my own YouTube. So why is it loading like that? That makes no sense.
Oh, maybe it's YouTube itself.
Well, here, how about if I don't do the one that's on YouTube, I can actually do the one that's from my desktop, the one that I actually edited and put on my desktop before I uploaded. It's the same thing. This makes no sense. Woo, English. I know, right? Jake D is awesome in the chat.
Yeah, he's my master of marketing.
I'm gonna stop. Yes, I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute. Let me try something else real quick. Oh, it just started going again. I can hear it going. Why is it still going? Yep. Okay. What? Can you guys still see it?
No.
I literally stopped the screen.
No. We'll need to. I'll need to share it. I'll need to add to stream.
Okay. I do apologize.
All right.
I'm trying to do more stuff with the camera, so please. Why? What the hell? I can still hear it.
Yeah, we lost it again.
Yeah, I stopped it like 2 minutes ago. How can you still hear it? Are you playing it off my YouTube?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not playing it.
Then how the heck am I still hearing it?
I don't know. I don't. We don't have the. It's not shared anymore. It's not shared anymore.
Oh,
so
never mind. It was my own YouTube going. Never mind. Oh crap! I feel like a dink now. Jesus.
Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we got the greatest chat in the world. We got the greatest of lurkers in the world.
I have nowhere near the greatest channel in the world. But you did send me a whole bunch of stuff. I did do an unboxing video today. So if your audience would be so kind to check out what I won from your Discord, this was not stuff I asked for. This was stuff I entered in on your Discord and won fair and square. Right? The Nintendo
right.
Switch 1 year, the Dune Blu-ray, and the 2X hoodie.
Have you worn it yet?
Oh, I'm going to tomorrow because it's going to be like
It's
48
cold.
degrees, and I got to
cold
work.
out.
So
Exactly.
yeah, it's going to be cold out. I'm going to wear that to work tomorrow.
Well, that's cool. So I'm taking you already saw the movie?
I watched it with Jedi Bill tonight, and it's interesting. I
So
mean,
what were your impressions? I'd love to hear.
okay, so obviously I've seen the one that I won the Blu-ray for, that you sent me, the 1984 version. I've also seen like a 3-part version on Netflix, which is like 6 or 8 hours long. It's in 3 parts, or not Netflix, but YouTube. And I can't remember who the actors and actresses are, but that's a really great version of it. It's on YouTube.
The mini series. Oh yeah, I only know is the guy that was in. If you remember Enterprise, the guy that played the main augment in that 3-parter in season 4.
Yes, I knew there was a guy in Enterprise.
Alec Newman, that's his name. Alec Newman plays.
See,
Paul.
I tried to say that on Jedi Bill stream, and people are like, "Oh, you're full of shit." I'm like, "No, there's a dude from Enterprise in that one."
Yeah,
and they thought I was all full of shit.
So I think I'll be honest. I didn't. I watched it once, and I don't even remember it. It was very different from the. It was very different from the movie.
It was, but if you watch that one that's on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
From the get-go, and you watch the first 2 hours that we just saw tonight, it's almost not literally word for word, but it's literally scene for scene, verbatim, except for like 2 or 3 things. And I was pointing out, no, that's not what happened. It happened this way. And people were like, I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, it happened this way. Especially when it comes to the Bene Gesserit stuff and the other stuff. And, you know, when they're going out to the spice field and when the son is getting trained and all this other stuff. And I'm like, no, it didn't happen that way. It happened this way. Which was more to the point to how it happened in the 1984 version.
So they took liberties in this movie, is what you're trying to say.
Absolutely.
Okay. What do you think of the stuff that they added, like the declaration of like you had the herald come in the beginning and said, Duke Leto of House Atreides, you are hereby decreed to take. You're here decreed to take control of planet Arrakis and
that
blah blah blah. I thought that was pretty interesting.
That was interesting, but they never said it in person. What happened was House Atreides came in and said, "Guess what? Governor said we're taking over. You need to go." And what happened with the other house? They said, "No, we're going to get back at House Atreides. We're going to run them off one way or the other." That's how the original went.
Yeah.
They never met face to face, you know, to have a handoff of power.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, when they get to the planet, and at least I listened to the audiobook. I listened to the first few chapters in the audiobook. When they get there, like they're gone and stuff. I think it was the same, right? They get there, and the place was abandoned, if I remember correctly.
It wasn't abandoned. You had a family that was taking advantage of it, and then you got a family coming in to take over for the corporation or the government, whatever the case might be. And the family that's in power on that planet is mad because they're going to lose all of their quote unquote lucrative contracts because they're not going to have that easy money no more, right? By taking advantage of the natives, aka the Fremen.
Yeah.
And the family that's coming in is going to actually work with the Fremen.
The family, you're talking about the Atreides?
The Atreides are going to work with the Fremen.
Yeah, they want that desert power.
Right, they want the desert power. They don't want to subjugate the desert power. They want to work with it.
Yes, because I mean, this is partially because they know that they're going to be betrayed, and they want to be prepared, and they want to use the plan to their advantage. Is what I kind of took from it. So, um, just like seeing like how and like learning, just learning from the Fremen how they survive, because I don't remember, but I think the Fremen even in the books were described as someone that could even that were even more impressive in battle than the Sardaukar were, because they lived on even under harsher conditions than the Sardaukar.
Yes, I did.
And they talk about
Way
like all the
harsher
crazy,
conditions.
like they talk about how crazy, like they're raised from birth to be, like in I don't know, like ancient Sparta, like they're raised from birth to be, warriors, and
To
they're
be
put under the
hardcore warriors and just be
yes.
like, yes, yeah.
And you see it, we see a little bit of that, we see a glimpse of that on the planet where they're just kind of laying there in the rain and stuff. It kind of made me think of how the Navy SEALs had they have their hell weeks, their little, where they're just like laying on the beach and water, like they're catching cold, and they have to do this for a whole week, and they don't get any sleep, and they're just like they're put through hell. That's kind of what I thought of. But of course, I figured this is science fiction. They would tune that up to like 10 or 11. So
Right. And I'll be honest. I saw the trailer before Jedi Bill went live tonight, and I gave the trailer 85%, and I gave the actual first part a 45%. Just to be honest with you, because I've seen an 84 version, which, by the way, my 84 version of the Blu-ray is still in plastic, and I'm not even going to take it out of the plastic until I do an actual live stream with it and put it into my Xbox One to do a watch party with it. Nerdporial, trust me, you will be at that watch party on my panel when I do that. So when I actually play the 84 version, there's also the 90s version that is on YouTube, which is free to watch. It's like 6 or 8 hours. I can't remember. It's in 3 parts, but it's on YouTube. It's Dune. Look it up. You can literally find it on YouTube. It's free to watch.
I think it was a sci-fi. Wasn't it like it was on the Sci-Fi channel when Sci-Fi was actually, interested in, showing sci-fi.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite versions is the one that's on YouTube right now. It literally is, because like literally the first episode, the first 2.5 hours is literally word for word, scene for scene for what we saw tonight, except for a few things.
It very closely followed the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And somebody said, awesome video. Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate the fact that you liked it. And you know what? I don't do stuff for people if I don't appreciate them. And I do really appreciate the Nerdporial Lifeform. I put all of his links in my video, as many as I can find. His Twitter, his Discord, and I messed up in my video. I said Teespring. It's not Teespring. It's his actual website. And yeah, I put all the links I could find as accurately as I could find them, and I put them on top of my description. So his links are on top of all my links. So please, if you watch that video.
Sorry, I didn't let you finish.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm just saying I put all your links way on top of mine because that video was about you, not me.
Okay, I wanted to go back. You said you the first half of the movie you felt was a 45%.
No. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it was like, I mean, I was okay with it, and then Jason Momoa comes out and he takes up. He's talking like this, like he's got a TIE fighter helmet on, and he takes it off, right? It's like,
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's like, that's some shit I'd expect from you from Stargate Atlantis.
So what do you think of Jason Momoa playing Duncan Idaho?
He is, I'm sorry, this might be unpopular with a lot of people, but he's stereotyped, okay? I first seen him not on Stargate Atlantis, but I seen him in stuff before that, okay? And then he was in Stargate Atlantis. And then I watched him on some Netflix show that my missus used to watch, where he was in 16 or 1700s North America playing some fur trapper. Okay. And now all of a sudden he's in one of my favorite movies of all time. Really? You better not be stereotyped, dude. And I see a trailer with you saying, "Let's slay demons." Really? Really? You're going to say, "Let's slay demons"?
Yeah, I'm assuming. I forgot that he said that. All I remember was that Gurney called the Harkonnens demons. Like, you ever face a Harkonnen? Well, they're demons or something.
Yeah, but he flat out says it in the trailer, the 30-second trailer. "Let's slay demons." With that Jason Momoa, and he raises his eyebrow. I'm like, dude, you just stereotyped yourself. Get the F out of here. You literally stereotyped yourself. Get the F out of here. I don't even want you in the movie.
I was wondering, like, because I know he dies. I mean, I know he dies in the book. He died in the original, and you barely see his character in the David Lynch movie. But for seeing him, like, get away and stuff, I was like, maybe in this version he survived. No, he doesn't survive. It was just there was more to the battle. There was more to the fight that we saw. That was added to it. So they went to like a safe house. They were taken to a safe house by the new Dr. Kynes.
I don't mean to interrupt, but you know what I really loved about this movie, especially in the first half, was the music. The music that leads up. The music that says
the Hans Zimmer soundtrack.
Yes, the Hans Zimmerman soundtrack. Where it builds up and just and then it crescendos. Freaking love that. Love the music. I just wish they could have done something better with the stuff on the screen to go with the music. If that makes sense.
So what do you think of the acting?
80%.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac. I liked Oscar Isaac as Duke Leto. I think I liked him more as Duke Leto than I did as Poe Dameron in Star Wars. So I thought he was fine. I felt Lady Jessica cried a little too much in this movie. I don't know. This is just something I don't remember if she cried.
Oh, you're talking about what's his name? His mama?
Yeah.
The kid, his mom? Yeah. She was a little whiny, wasn't she?
Yeah, she would like
the concubine. I mean, you're talking about the concubine.
She didn't do it in front of him, but she
But she was really whiny in this movie. Yeah, I do agree.
It was interesting seeing her, like, she can do hand to hand. We saw it in the original David Lynch film too, with when they first encounter the Fremen. When they first encounter Stilgar, she kind of bests him and manages to get one over on him, and he has a blade to his throat. And stuff.
Right, because he's like, "Oh, this is how it's always been." But even in the '90s version on YouTube, she's like, "This is House Harkonnen. Nobody will be turned away because they're hungry or thirsty."
Yeah,
I like that. That's what I like. At that, I did not see that at all in this movie, at all in this version. I'm like, really? She's only a concubine, and she's standing up for that house, and she's not saying it now. Why not? Why is she not?
I didn't think about
staying
that. And
true to her character.
And then they have that final fight. I don't know. I don't remember who that character was. The one that challenges Stilgar, and he ends up having a fight with Paul to the death and stuff. Which was obviously, I don't know if that was in the book, but it definitely wasn't in the original film.
Well, I didn't read the books. I'll tell you who did. I'll tell you who has lots of knowledge on this because they read the books. Is Mr. CCDV. If you know who that is, look him up. He's a friend of mine on YouTube. Mm-hmm. He has read this book. He has 20, 30 years of knowledge about this. And he was on Jedi Bill's stream before the movie started. Before Bill did his watch party, if that's what you want to call it. Mr. CCDV is very knowledgeable on this. I am just going on what I've seen and what I know. I have not read the books. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm just saying what I've seen. So, but yeah, from what I've seen before compared to this one, yeah, I had to give the trailer an 85%, obviously, because they always make trailers to be like, you gotta watch. It's the greatest thing of the year.
Yeah, and they're usually like, to me, they're mostly false marketing and stuff. They add stuff. They add stuff, or they take stuff out to trick you into checking it out and stuff. So
Right, and then I watched the actual thing, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
a lot of times the trailer,
where's this scene, and this scene should be like this, and then
the trailers nowadays are usually better than the movie. But I don't know. I actually like this movie. I actually like this movie quite a bit, and I kind of want to rewatch it.
People in chat calling me a dink because I was saying no, it should be like this, it should be like that, and they were calling me names and calling me out, and I'm like, no, I've seen the one on YouTube, I've seen the original, right? I didn't call you out saying I've seen the original, but I said I've seen the original and I've seen the YouTube version. And they're like, you're just being a sci-fi. People like to call me out for reasons. I don't know why. Because they think I'm a dink. They think I like to talk over people. If I do, sometimes I do, which I apologize for. It's not on purpose. I'm just saying, when I think I see something, I just want to say, hey, I thought I seen it that way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so basically, from what my going in with certain expectations and stuff, I was actually right about where it would end. Like, I knew it was going to end. I knew it was going to end when they meet the Fremen. Like, I figured that's where it was going to lead up to. And then there's going to be there's like a 2 or 3 year time jump afterwards, where they you see that segment where he's like in the original movie, where he's teaching them how to use the sound weapon and stuff.
What did you think about the Fremen eyes compared to what we saw in the trailer?
The Fremen eyes, I don't remember. I haven't watched the trailer. Like, is there?
Okay,
I'm taking, you're saying there's a big difference.
Yes, because in the trailer they have
really blue
obviously
eyes.
The blue eyes.
And it was hardly noticed.
You couldn't even see
notice it. It was hard. It was hard to notice.
Yeah, you couldn't even see it in the first part of the movie.
Yeah,
why wouldn't you? Because the Fremen are automatically established as being, they're not humans, they're Fremen. Well, guess what? They are human. They just know how to navigate astrologically the way you don't know how to. They're still human.
Because of all that, because they live on the planet, and there's all this spice, in the air, so they breathe it in, and that's why they have.
So they created their own
blue eyes
culture
and stuff.
Right, but when you watch the first part of this movie, what did you not see? Especially when it came to the Fremen.
And you barely see what's her name, shout out Mapes. Like, you just see her. You see a little introduction where Lady Jessica says, "You have a knife you're hiding a knife," and then they talk about prophecy. And the next thing after that, you see her. Paul, catches the thing before it hits her, the seeker. I'm guessing that's where Harry Potter got their idea for the seeker, but instead it was a little balance of.
Who's that underneath? Who's that underneath Jake D? I don't want to mess their name up. Yes, I did see their eyes in the trailer before I watched the movie tonight. The Fremen did have blue eyes in the trailer tonight. Before I watched the first part of the movie.
Yeah, it wasn't as noticeable. It wasn't as noticeable. Was like, I'm looking at them, and I didn't notice it as much. Like, it was, you could still see it. It was still there, but it wasn't nearly as noticeable. It didn't glow as much. It just, I guess they're trying to make it look more natural, I guess. I don't know.
And in the trailer, you could tell it's like they literally had glowing blue contacts in. Like, literally, our eyes are blue. We are Fremen, like you would see from 1984, or the one on YouTube you can find right now. We have blue eyeballs. Our whole eyes are blue, basically, right? Not like solid blue, but like you could see the cornea, the whatnot, and everything through it. in the trailer before I watched the movie tonight. For the trailer for the one tonight. And then I watched the first part of the movie, and I was like, okay, I've seen some Fremen. Why aren't their eyes blue? You've been around spice all your lives. Why aren't your eyes blue?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really comment. I can't really comment on that further.
That's
so.
just a little nitpick. It's not like a big thing. It's just a nitpick. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So I mean, the movie was pretty much. I mean, it was very dreamy. Sometimes it was kind of. I'm kind of wondering, is this a dream sequence or is this are they awake and stuff? There are times where I was kind of confused on that. So
Yeah, it's like, okay, so yeah, I kind of got the same impression. I'm like, okay, so is he for real? Is he dreaming? What's going on here? Yeah, I know. I get exactly what you're saying there, Nerd Burial. Trust me. I'm like, because, yeah, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? Because I remember watching the other ones, right? And I'm like, what's going on here?
But yeah, this story came from Frank Herbert, and Frank Herbert was just like he was one of those individuals that just liked to learn. He was curious. He had this curious mind, and he learned. He basically took several different jobs, and he learned a lot of different things. He learned about politics. He learned about semantics. He learned about religion, and he basically took all of his interests and he basically channeled that into writing a story. And that's kind of where and he was also big ecology nut. He was very interested in sand dunes, especially in the state of Oregon, that I read about. And like just the whole idea of like he does not think absolute power corrupts. He believes that just like some people.
So he didn't believe that absolute power corrupts absolutely?
Yeah, he believed that power, like he talks about like how like bad like corrupt politicians generally stem from mistakes that their predecessors have made, and like followers that like will follow without question and stuff. Like it amplifies with followers that will follow without question. So any mistakes that politicians or leaders make are amplified further by followers that follow without question and stuff. So it's an interesting thing. I only listened to a few interviews of him. I'd like to hear more about like his
absolutely
thoughts and views.
Love to hear his interviews. I'd love to have him on a stream sometime. I know it's never going to happen, but
Frank. Well, yeah, he passed away 35 years ago. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He was actually he was alive when the Lynch film. He was actually alive when the Lynch film came out. And I was listening. He did a Today Show with Brian Gumbel. I think this was 1982. He's like saying, "Oh, David Lynch is writing the film. I hope he used some of the stuff that I gave him."
Yeah, I hope he uses the original source material. Yeah,
which I'm sure David Lynch didn't. I mean, I'm sure he read it, but I'm sure he put his own little twist in it.
Oh
and stuff.
Yeah,
giving Harkonnen all those. Just they made Baron Harkonnen really gross in that one. Like he had all those big like boils and stuff on his face, and they were popping. And I'm like, what is this? Like, I mean, I don't even remember them ever saying that in the novel that he had all those boils. So they just said he was fat, and that he had that thing that allowed him to walk or fly around or hover around.
Here's the thing. You sent me a Blu-ray, right? You saw the video. So which one do I have? Do I have the original, or do I have the one with the guy with the boils on his face?
Well, the original is the one with the guy with the boils on his face.
Oh, okay, so is that the one I have on Blu-ray?
That's a David Lynch one.
Oh, so I might have the next one then, because I have it right here. It says, "Oh crap! Where'd my reading? I don't know where my reading glasses are. Oh, there's one pair. Oh, they're there. Okay, so this has who's in this? All right, so Kyle MacLachlan, Jose Ferrer,
yep, that's the one.
Max von Sydow, Oscar winner Linda Hunt, and Sting, the singer Sting.
Yep.
That's the one you sent me. That's the one I showed on my video today. The one that
Yes.
you actually sent me.
Yep, that's the one. They gave the Baron Harkonnen in that movie. They gave him boils on his face, so they made him look pretty gross. And then you get to see like they had like these they had like implants in their nipples and stuff. They pulled it out, and you see blood come out. I'm like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like really.
I'm like what is this? It was like, and then he had like all this like liquid, just like I can't even explain it. He had like this liquid just falling on his face, and it looks like they're trying to make it look sexual or something. Or
Like all this pus coming out of
I'm
it.
like, I was just like, oh my gosh. I was just like, oh, this is so awkward. But then again, David Lynch hated making this movie. Like he's like F this movie, F, and he worked. The producer of that movie was Dino De Laurentiis, and Dino De Laurentiis is, he was a real, piece of work. He didn't really want to work for him. Like he was basically the law of the production and stuff. So he always interfered with the creativity of the director and stuff. Always bashed heads with directors and stuff. So,
hey, Nerd Burry, you got some people in the chat. You want to say hi to them?
Sure. So we have K2J Extreme. What's up? I'm in the middle of something. I can't stay long. Well, thanks for coming by. Anthroparian basically is talking about the blue eyes. Thanks for coming by. Everyone else I've already talked to. So
okay. Well, I just wanted to give you a chance to
Pacific
414. I know them from the Discord, and
yes,
Jake B I know from the Discord, and there's some other people in here. Let's see if I can see anybody else.
So
not that I can see on my end, but
so is there any final things? I'm going to be closing the stream early because I have to go to bed. It's already close to midnight.
Okay, I will say this. Check out the movie on HBO Max, okay? Just give it a watch. Give it your own opinion. Don't take our word for it. I'm going to pull a LeVar Burton here, okay? Like Reading a Rainbow. Don't take my word for it. Watch the movie. Read the book.
And if you have the courage to go to the movie theater, check it on IMAX, because I definitely think this movie was meant to be watched in the theater. It was a great experience. I want to watch it again in the theater, and it's just that it has that epic feel that that I feel was really missing with the new Star Wars and with a lot of entertainment now. So I was really happy with what I saw, and I can't wait to see the second half of it. But before the second half comes out, I want to read the book. Actually, read the whole book this time. So
I do too, because one of the movies I read the book for years and years and years ago, back in the 80s, was Ender's Game, and then they finally came out with the movie.
And I heard it was just like I read the book after seeing that movie, so.
Yeah, so you had the opposite experience that I did. I'm like, I read the book and now I watched the movie. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I read the first 3 books in the Ender quadrilogy or whatever.
I didn't even know they had a trilogy. All I knew was Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card, and I read that. And then I saw the movie with Harrison Ford. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
The first book out of here. The first book was very good. The first book is the classic and stuff. Has that crazy little twist ending. The second book where he's grown up was actually pretty good, but it was the third book I couldn't stand. The third book was super long, and it just went nowhere. And then the story just stopped. Then the story just stopped making sense. And
I didn't
even bother finishing the fourth book. It was called Children of the Mind, because he basically he basically can create his own brother and sister as kids and stuff. And I didn't really get that. I was just like,
I didn't either. It's like, I read the first book, then I saw the movie, and then I found out there's 2 other books, and I found out what he could do, and I'm like, no, that don't make no fucking sense. The fucking movie didn't make no sense from the fucking first book. Why the hell am I going to read the other 2 books? No, that don't make no sense, right? It's like me watching 2001: A Space Odyssey, right? and loving the hell out of that. And I also watched 2010,
The year we made contact. Yeah.
the year we make contact, right? And I've also read 3001. Also,
Now now if I remember correctly, that's where they bring back Frank Poole.
yes, which they never made a movie out of. But I've read the first two books, all three books. I've seen the first movie, the second movie. They never made the third movie. I don't know if they ever can. I hope they do, and I hope they do it.
Hollywood today has no idea, so they're going to basically try and adapt wherever they can.
Yeah, but if they do it, I hope they do it the right way.
Yeah,
all I'm going to say is if you ever watch 2001 and you watch 2010, granted, one was made in 1968 or 69, the other one was made in the 80s.
One's very Stanley Kubrick and not for everybody, and then one's more, more
modern 80s audience. Yes,
more accessible. The second one's more accessible. It's there's dialogue, there's character driven stuff, whereas 2001 was mainly a visual. It's just simply a visual masterpiece. It's visual storytelling. There was barely any dialogue in the whole film.
Yeah, it was basically what Star Wars is based off of visually, and also what Star Trek the motion picture was based of story wise, if that makes sense, and visual.
I mean they got the same people. They tried to get the same people, tried to follow that production and stuff, how to build models and work science fiction.
Yeah, I mean, because if you look at what sci-fi was before that, Kubrick set the goddamn bar back in the day when it came out with the Space Odyssey. I mean,
it's just like he had an idea with what he wanted to do, and he just did it, and he didn't care what people thought of it and stuff. And the thing is, he tried to be elusive about details in interviews and stuff. So he very rarely gave interviews. And when he did, he would try not to talk about it. And any information that was about the film, he usually had it destroyed and stuff, so that people,
right?
So that people couldn't get an answer, because he wanted people to use their own imaginations and stuff.
Which is awesome.
But I like that. I like those films. Those films are very familiar to me. I mean, and stuff. I've studied my finals in college to that. That's how familiar those movies were to me and stuff.
Did you actually read 3001 by Arthur C. Clarke?
I did read. I did read 2000. I did read Arthur C. Clarke's 2001.
Dude, you got to read 3001. Oh,
yeah. There's a lot of stuff I got to read. There's just so much stuff.
I read 2001, 2010, and 3001. Dude, when you get to 3001, holy crap, dude! They talk about this little membrane that they surgically implant on top of your brain, right? And it just they pull back your skin flap and your bone flap, and they just put this over your brain. And it just sinks into your brain, and you're connected to everything in the world.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to read 3001 by Arthur C. Clarke. I'm telling you. You've seen the movies. You need to read the other two books. I'm telling you.
All right. I'll keep that in mind. So
you got to read them. I'm telling you, they never made a movie for 3001. And if they did, and if they ever do, oh, God help them. They better do it the right way. That's all I'm saying. Trust me. You know what I mean after you read it.
I do. All right. So it's about hour and 20 minutes. I think this is where we're going to end the stream. So you have any final thoughts, Sci-Fi Nation?
Yeah. I mean, I think they got a good start on it. Could be better. It's got some modern tropes in it, obviously. That could be done without. But overall, I think they're sticking with the spirit of it. So I give it a 65% out of 100 for the first 2 hours. 65%, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to see it again. I don't know when I'm going to see it again, but I want to see it in proper IMAX this time. I thought the movie was very entertaining. If you're a science fiction fan, if you're a fan of epic battles and stuff, I mean, this movie doesn't quite fill in Lord of the Rings, but it's up there.
It is.
It's very good. I felt it was very good storytelling. I liked the look of the movie. The dreamy stuff, I think they could have toned that down a little bit, but that's just me.
That's another thing that brought it down for me too. Yep.
So I'd probably give it an 8 or 9 out of 10. I'd have to watch it again, get to really absorb it all in. But yeah, I thought the movie was pretty good. I would definitely recommend you go see it in the theaters. And just to say some final words, the spice must continue to flow. So
the spice must flow.
If you can support the movie, watch it on HBO Max. If you can't go to the theater, and if you can't go to the theater, go see it in the theater. That's all I'm gonna say.
And if you can't do that, support your YouTube friends that do watch parties. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
So other than that, everybody, thanks for coming by. And remember, stay nerdporeal, and may the wings of nerdporeal secure you to happiness. Take care, everybody.